I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bashem, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, Slaki. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? Uh, I want to go ahead and talk about this doctrine that has us in this conundrum, in this bind, right? We still bound by this doctrine, um, and it's keeping us bound. Let me read this just real fast. Let me read this. Uh, so all right. All right, so okay, I'm not finding it right now, but yeah, not finding it, but it's gonna come to me here in a second. Um, but what I wanted to do is get to this understanding. We about to we about to make this happen. So um, I want to talk about this this doctrine of uh, evening to evening that we've been running with, like adolescent children, like like babes still. Now I'm gonna show a scripture why it is that I why it is that I'm so stuck on this. The Most High has not had me move from it. You know, brothers like to do in-depth, deep breakdowns of, you know, Ezekiel, First Chronicles, Ezra, all these other nations and everything else. When us as a people, with the simplicity of the scripture, like we're still struggling, we're still lost, we're still dealing with the same issues we were when we were in the so-called Christian church. That a lot of Israelites, a lot of our people will basically, you know, um, downplay basically that whole organization because it makes it makes us coming into the truth, you know, look better. You know, they say, "Oh, well, you're not doing the same things that you used to do. You're not doing Sunday worship, or uh, you know, you're not uh, you're not celebrating Easter and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that stuff." But then you pick up the day starting the evening. You pick up Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, Shabbat, and then you pick up these extra holy days, and all y'all do is get drunk. Most of the time, y'all eating and drinking. And it's not like drinking to get drunk. Like, it's like a lot of stuff just, you know, being justified. And then now you see brothers are having problems within camps. I'm talking about since brothers that I've seen since we came to into the understanding, and even linking up with certain brothers and seeing how their doctrines were different. Now, before I started seeing doctrines and stuff change, I saw things that was worldly still, and understand. You know, brothers still got their own things they got to work out. You know, brothers still coming into the understanding of the truth, but still have a lot of worldly ways. I mean, and we all got some detaching still to do, but there's some things that I felt in the spirit that brothers weren't letting go. Now that as time goes by, all this stuff is coming out, and this is why we have to be, you know, separate. This is why we got to separate ourselves from these type things, so we won't um, we won't continue in these patterns. So check this out. Instead of brothers doing these deep breakdowns about, uh, you know, the spirits, the seven spirits, who Esau is, who Amalek is, who Ishmael is, all this other stuff, and uh, being beamed up in chariots, all this stuff, 7 wives to one man, and that's not even what the scripture say. The scripture don't say 7 wives to one man. It says 7 women will cleave to one man. That could be your aunt, your sister, your cousin. You can't marry them. You know, they say they'll just take your name, basically. That don't mean they're your wife, bro. Because if by their doctrine, sex is marriage. So they said we'll take we just want your name. We don't want nothing to do. We just want your name. That's not a wife. But you got brothers with a perversion. They'll definitely use Isaiah to try to basically say, yeah, all these women gonna be on my nutsack. It's crazy, bananas. But check this out. When we should be this, 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2, it says, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. So, yeah, the sincere milk of the word is what we need to be focused on, because you see with these deep breakdowns and all these deep mysteries that, you know, brothers either don't understand and they're trying to teach them to people with the incorrect understanding, and it sounds good, but then you're confusing the people because the thing is you got to be careful who you're learning from. You got to be careful who you're learning from because you got brothers out there that don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they just repeating information from what they saw somebody else say or what they heard somebody else do. And what they end up doing is hurting the congregation and hurting people and leading people astray because they want to look good. They don't want to actually do good. They want to look good in front of the people. So this is why we must be First Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. Okay? We got to desire the sincere milk of the word because that's what's going to get us. That's what's going to ultimately help us grow, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just start because this whole evening to evening, it's got to be dealt with. You know, it's not that understanding is not scripture. So if we start with evening to evening, that's gonna throw our days off. That's gonna throw everything off. We're not even gonna be able to get the days right. If we can't get the days right, how are we gonna get the Sabbaths right? So we can't get the Sabbath right, right? We can't get the Sabbath right, all because we don't know when a day starts. So I ask brothers to show in scripture that literally says that in the evening, as and refer to the evening like it does the morning when it says on the morrow, and how it referred to the evening being the next day. Evening doesn't mean day. It's a mixture of day and night. So let's go ahead. Start in Genesis. Genesis chapter 1. It says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light. He didn't see the darkness. And God saw the light, and that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And he called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So the thing is that if evening and morning is a mixture of darkness and light, so then when does the next day start? According to Genesis 1 and 5. Because right there it literally says, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Well, if there's no sun, you have light and you have darkness. There's no sun, there's no moon. how do you know that it's evening without the sun and the moon? So, what are you determining as evening and morning without the sun and the moon? Okay, evening and morning for the first day. So when did the day end? Genesis 1:5. When did the day end? Well, it looks like in the morning. That's what it looks like. In the morning is when the day ended. So then when did the day start? Oh man, it's like you just woke up. Mm. Just woke up not too long ago. Still, bad. I was up late and I'm up early. So then, if the day, evening and morning were the first day. So when did the day end? We see that it ended in the morning. So then, when does the next day start? Because if the Most High called the light day, so that would mean there's a portion in the morning where you see the light coming in from the sun. That is the start of daylight. That's the start of it's the start of light. It's a clear separation, just like the Most High just made. He separated light from darkness, called light day. Darkness he called night. So it's obvious. It's literally right there in the scripture. First first story I just touched in Genesis already kills the evening. But brothers want to jump to an evening and morning or the first day. Well then, so then when does the next day start? Well, brothers would like to say, well, in the evening. Okay, but you just skipped a whole daylight portion. So then where's the daylight portion after evening and morning? Because he already called light day and the darkness he called night. In the evening and the morning were the first day. So when does the next day start? Well, let's keep reading verse 6. It says, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. So during this whole time when he's making the firmament, separating and letting it divide the waters from the waters that were under the firmament and the waters that were above the firmament, and it was so, right? So what when was this being done? In the morning? Because he didn't work anything during in the darkness. He didn't even call darkness anything. He didn't even deal with the darkness until the light came in. He didn't even call the darkness anything. It was just there, over the earth, just there. And some people want to philosophize and get all philosophical and want to say, oh, well, that darkness was talking about the absence of of the Most High in the world. Well, it said that His Spirit hovered over the face of the deep, and this was while there was darkness that on the face of the earth there was no light. So He wasn't doing any work then during the darkness. Why would He do any work in the darkness now? Now, if He's all light, He's all light. So that means while He's in heaven, sitting on the throne, He's all light. There's no darkness, no need for sun or moon because He's all light. So now you have the Most High that's all light, but then on the earth it's total darkness. But He didn't deal with the earth. It was just here. It was void. It was nothing. So now, when light comes in, now He's like, okay, all right, let me go ahead and polish you up real quick. I can see what's going on down here. Yep, let me separate this from that. These waters is going crazy down here, boy. It's just, you know. So let me go ahead and tighten it up. You know what I'm saying? Tidy it up real quick. So what part of the day was the Most High doing His work then on the earth? Because no man can work in the darkness. I'm not saying a man can't work at night. I'm talking about in darkness. Even if you did work at night, you drive to work at night. All the street lights are off. Every vehicle's lights are off. Your headlights are off. The illumination on your dashboard is off, and your car is off. None of the stoplights work. The moon isn't out. How easy would it be for you to drive around? You probably couldn't even see the lines in the road, right? Without light. Okay, let's say you do make it to work. You make it to work. None of the lights inside the building work. How are you going to work in darkness? You need light in order to work. It's common sense. So why would the Most High, like these are just simple examples. Even the Mashiach even mentions it. He talks about are there not 12 hours in a day, night cometh when no man can work. Well, yeah, because especially during that time, it would doing detailed work. Imagine trying to do carpentry work and it's dark, and then you just burning candles all night. Like your average man didn't work like that during those days at night. Most people didn't work during those times at night. When the sun went down, them people was at home in their house. Why do you think the Mashiach even gave the parable of His return as being compared to a thief in the night? And be prepared that your home be not spoiled, because people were at home already. Not because it's the Sabbath and the sun is going down. I gotta get home. Like, there's even not one example in the scripture that these people were wrestling before sundown to keep the Sabbath. Not one scripture. Not one scripture that they were wrestling to get home or get all this stuff gathered so then they could be prepared for the Shabbat at sunset. No scripture for it. No, not one scripture for it. And it just doesn't, like, that don't even make sense. And that's just dealing with Genesis. You know, that's just dealing with Genesis because like, it don't make sense. So check this out. Let's go ahead and read this last day. It says here, I'm I'm going to start reading at verse 14. Genesis 1 and 14. It says, "And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs and for seasons, for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament Salakia, of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night." It's right there. Genesis 1 and 16. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. So that's right there telling you that the greater light to rule the day, which is the sun. So that would start the day. It's simple. Why are y'all trying to overcomplicate this? No, see, it starts in the evening. This and that. And no, this system does not start their day in the morning at the rising of the sun. It's common sense that they know that, but their day starts in total darkness at midnight. That's when their next day starts. So for people to try to say, especially Israelites, to try to say, "Oh, see, man, that's what Esau thinks." Like, no, that's scripture that says that the day starts with the light from the sun. It was commanded in Genesis that the greater light is to rule the day. What do you think he's talking about? You think he made the sun to rule the whole 24-hour period day, since y'all like to use the 24-hour period? The sun doesn't rule the whole 24-hour period, modern 24-hour period. No, the sun rules the day. It's literally that simple. So when you see a scripture that talks about day and the Sabbath day and the day of the new moon, like y'all got to understand in context. Now, if it tells you, even in Exodus 12, how it talks about the 14th day, let me just go to it. I'm gonna just go to it because it's the same day in Exodus 12. Check this out. It says here, Exodus 12 and 6. It says, "And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month." So we know that the greater light rules the day, which is the sun. So now he's telling you, at that 14th sun of the first month, keep that lamb up until that day. Then it says, "And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening." Yep, in the evening. Of when? The 14th day. Because it's already clear separation in Genesis what day, night, evening, and morning is. So what is so hard about it? It's right there. Now, and then it says in verse 7, Exodus 12 and 7, it says, "And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it." And then it says, "And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs. They shall eat it." So then it says, verse 8, "And they shall eat the flesh in that night." So which night? Which night? Because we already got the 14th day, and then it says, "And the whole congregation shall kill it in the evening." So now we're going into the night portion of the 14th, right? Which is the Passover, right? So it's clearly right there. It's telling you the 14th, that 14th sun, boom. Chill out, because this is the Passover, but it's also a Sabbath. It's the second Sabbath of the month. So y'all chill out. But in the evening, y'all gonna follow what the Most High told you. You're gonna kill this lamb in the evening on the second Sabbath. It was a regular second week Sabbath, a regular weekly Sabbath. It was the second Sabbath. So they didn't do anything during the daylight portion. But in the evening, that's when they killed the lamb. Boom. And then they took the blood, strike it on the side post and the upper doorpost. Now it's saying, and they shall eat the flesh that night. Well, that's pretty specific. That night. Well, but then you got brothers to say, oh, see, that's because the 14th started in that evening. No, that's not what Exodus 12 and 6 says. It's not. So the thing is we got brothers that are lacking this understanding and it's causing us to worship incorrectly on top of all the other issues that we have from post-traumatic slave disorder. You know what I'm saying? And then just trying to re-identify ourselves and find out who we really are. Then we cleave to the commandments and then, oh, it's wrong. The doctrine is wrong. Oh, we got to change this. We got to change that. And it's like, okay, hey, I get it because we don't know everything. Everybody doesn't have 100% all the correct understanding of doctrine. So I get it. But this right here is obvious because, and the reason why is because we're not desiring the sincere milk. We got to desire the sincere milk. That means the simplicity of the scriptures. The simplicity of the scriptures. Not these old hard, in-depth, deep breakdowns, and you got to try to convince brothers and sisters of your knowledge with these long, deep breakdowns and this manipulation of scripture and mind control, right? It's just sad. But check this out. I'm going back to Genesis because I want to get to the day of rest. Because Genesis is already laying out evening and morning for the first day, right? So check this out. Just read verse 15, verse 16. Genesis 1 and 16. Slightly. It says, God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, in the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Verse 21, and God created, verse 20, and God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw it was good, that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. God said, let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. God blessed them. God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Okay? Now it says here, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. So he rested the seventh day. So now we got to understand what part of the day did he rest? Because we know that evening and morning, after the morning, you get daylight. You know, there's a part of the morning that connects to the night on this backside. And then you got part of the morning when you start seeing that light at a distance start growing. That's the morning that belongs to the next day. At, at, at the dawning of, of the sun. You see that light growing? Hey, when that sun rises, you already know. Next day. It's that simple. It's not even hard. So, and then and let's go here. Actually, I wanna go ahead and what is it? Genesis chapter 15 and verse 17. Now, this is April. It says, I'm gonna start at verse 17. It says, and it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So what I want to understand here was because what this is what happened. Um, it says here, in Genesis 15, this is I'm gonna start at verse 9. says, and he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another. But the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror, a great darkness fell upon him. So this is when the sun was going down. I noticed it didn't say the next day, because when you go to verse 17, it says, and it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. And then verse 18 says, in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram. So we know that even with that, it's the same day, right? Now, I'm going to hold it right here because I know I kind of maybe been a lot of dead air, but I'm getting back to bringing this stuff out again because brothers are lying. They running with this evening, and it's not biblical. It's not scripture. It's not biblical. It's not scripture at all. It's not biblical. It's not scripture. Brothers need to stop playing, and we need to stop accepting brothers that do this. Man, hold on. Whoa. We need to stop accepting brothers that just talk and say anything to where we we get lost in doctrine through translation because we won't read and study for ourselves. And I'm glad I stayed out the way when I did because I'm seeing a lot of brothers that, I would agree with, man, and now they fighting with each other, these camp brothers coming at each other. And it's just a lot of finger pointing in Israel, man. You know, we still sick, man. We got a lot of people that got real issues, real problems, real emotional, mental issues, real spiritual, deep-seated, deep-rooted issues, man. We don't know how to talk to each other as brothers and sisters, as spouses in relationships. We don't. And then everything is me, selfish. I want this, me, and it's killing us, man, as a people, bro. And then we got to deal with so-called, I guess, Pharisaical doctrine. We gotta be better, man. We really do. Sloppy. Face was itching a little bit. We gotta be better, man. We gotta be better. And I want to start again because this word just gotta go out, man. Brothers be lying. Brothers are not telling the truth. So I gotta do my part, man. And I'm gonna keep doing my part. I gotta do my part, man. Cause I see the condition that Israel is in, and I ain't talking about overseas Israel. I'm talking about those in America that claim to be Israel. I see the condition, and I saw it before this started to happen. I've told a couple people about the dream that I had about these 3 homes, the burning house, but none of them were burning. You know, my brother know, man. I tell him, hey, that's that gas leak. Because you can go inside a house, man, and it look like it's put together well. You know, you got brothers and sisters that show up timely manner and fashion. It seemed like everybody got their fringes on and nice garments. The sisters got their dresses on with the hair wrapped. Tending to their children. The elders, the men of status that are leaders. They seem like they're doing well, and the whole time, since you don't openly see the problems, you don't notice that there's a gas leak. It's that gas leak, man. Stay away from the gas leak. Pay attention. Use your senses. You smell that. Try every spirit, man. Try it, even if it causes you to get put out of a congregation. Try the spirit, save yourself, man. This is how you work out your own salvation, but you don't have to follow people, man. You can literally read these scriptures and break them down and study for yourself, and then just build with like-minded people. You don't have to be in no large organization to be recognized, you know? So, you know, that's it on that, man, for right now. I got so much more, man. And I literally only just gave like 2 stories and 2 accounts, man, that just basically kills evening to evening. And y'all gotta come out of that, man. And anybody y'all know that teach evening to evening that feel like, you know, they want to debate it, I'm open for a debate. I mean, I'd rather just dialogue or discuss it. But if it's gonna be a debate, then whatever. Like, but I'm not gonna run from none of it. I can't run from none of it. It's the truth. So with that, say shalom to y'all. Y'all hold yourself, man. This world is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got the world, the people that's out there in the world trying to keep up with everything. That's already crazy, man. But we got it's a direct attack on sanctity of union and unity, and people just not being loyal how they should be. Practice, say one thing and practice another thing. It's like you know. But hey, praying for everybody, man. Hope y'all have a good one. I'm gonna say shalom, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Shalom.